All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Run! Go! Get to the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
Podcast.
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. My name is Tiago de Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Were you napping?
I'm literally falling asleep right now.
Dude, it's like
I'm
early.
so tired though. I know it's early, but this isn't that early. I'm always up early. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I get up early, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I went to
that's
sleep late
Yeah,
because we were getting our party on last night.
that's true.
That doesn't sound get our party on. That was the most inauthentic thing I've ever said. Like that didn't feel like something I would say.
I think because
from
you've
my
aged.
face.
I feel like the older you get, when you say get your party on, you like play card games and like watch movies.
No, we sat around with like glasses of wine and like recalled tales of our youth.
Did
That was
we?
like,
I didn't have any wine.
Remember
No, I didn't have any wine either.
when?
I had
But-
hard liquor, son. No, I didn't.
You had like
I
a
did
little,
have
a couple
bit.
sips
And
of
it
a
made me-
screwdriver.
I feel horrible.
Or orange vodjuska.
That's true.
An
Orange
orange
Julius?
vodjuska.
He had an orange Julius, don't lie.
There you go. No, but I'm
Those are
just
good.
I'm tired, man. I don't know. I went to sleep late.
Blood sugar
Got
is
up
too
early.
high, man. You gotta check your blood sugar.
Is that what it is?
It's getting old,
Dang.
dude.
I'm drinking this fucking herbal tea. I'm like, I should have gotten my regular black tea.
That's what it is. You don't have
I
any
got
time.
some of
Yeah,
that,
'cause usually when I get
um,
black tea, I get like sweetener and stuff in it, and I'm trying to like cut out sugar. So I'm like, I'll get this fucking herbal tea, and I'm like, ugh,
By the way, I got some of that coffee.
what's coffee?
I'll give it to you after.
What is it?
It's coffee.
Is it cocaine?
No.
Then
You
why
said
are we
it
still
like
talking
there was
about
some
this?
secret.
There
hidden-
is a
Oh,
secret
then you
message.
have not explained this to me. I don't
All right,
understand what
cut
it
this
is.
Cut this out of the podcast.
This is like highly reviewed coffee.
No, it's their Colombian coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I? have
I
some?
sound like I imported some.
Yeah,
really
that's what it
Colombian,
sounds like.
no
We're talking about
candy.
like
Yeah, I imported
cocaine
some
here.
shit.
Yeah.
We're talking about
It's
you
a
know.
coffee. It's just coffee, okay?
Colombian
There's nothing
nose
more,
candy.
nothing
The
less.
Peruvian
it's
white
coffee.
snow.
It's
White
different.
snow.
It makes you feel good. It works it out.
The devil's
Okay.
flower.
It wakes you up. Let me just say that. Drink
good.
it before you get shot.
Not your grandpa's baby powder.
Yes, not your grandpa's.
Just making up things. Come on, somebody else.
That's good,
Yeah, it's
actually.
good. I'm gonna
They
do that
call
one.
it the buckshot.
The buckshot.
the buckshot.
I don't know. Anywho,
Don't rub it on your gums.
don't rub it on your gums. There you go.
Or your testes.
All right. After that long intro,
What are we talking about?
we talking some.
Oh, horror. Gremlins.
Yes!
I grew up. I wasn't a huge fan of. I mean, I
Really?
liked.
It's a good.
Oh my
first
gosh,
one.
your mic just went out.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked. I remember liking the first one a lot, mainly because
Phoebe
Cates is in it, and I was like,
Also, you know who directed that was it Chris Columbus directed that?
You mentioned it
Joe
before.
Dante. Joe Dante.
okay.
I'm doing that off the top of my head.
It was a lot
Somebody
of
look it. Somebody look it up.
That
Is
said
it Joe
Steven
Dante?
Spielberg, and as a kid, I assumed Steven
I
Spielberg
think
directed all of
Chris
them.
Columbus. He was a producer on it. Steven Spielberg, which it has a Spielberg-esque quality. I think Chris Columbus may have written it, and Joe Dante directed it. Let me look it up. Joe Dante. Yep, that's right. Chris Columbus wrote it. Who did Home Alone? Right. Adventures in Babysitting. He wrote it, and Joe Dante directed it. Spielberg produced it, so it has that very Spielberg-esque 80s quality to it. Movies from 84. I love that movie. The Miragwai.
Yeah.
You know who does the
Gizmo.
voice of Gizmo. You know who does the voice
Yeah.
for Gizmo?
I forgot his name, but he's shit. We talked about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I forgot his name.
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel. That's
yeah,
right.
he does all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Bobby's
did Life
World.
with Bobby's,
Bobby's World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Life with Louie.
Life with
What was-
Louie.
was that Louis
That was Louis
Anderson?
Anderson.
Yeah.
Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
Louis Anderson.
He had a cartoon where he was like the little kid and he voiced himself or something.
Yeah, that was Life with Louie.
Yeah.
I used to watch that.
Life with Louie, yeah.
I thought about that because my wife watches American Idol and like seeing
America's
him-
Got Talent.
or that show.
Howie Mandel's on
Obviously,
America's Got
I don't
Talent.
watch it. I just know he's
There's
in
so
one
many
of
of these
them.
talent shows I
Yeah.
can't keep up.
AGT is fine because it's like a big talent show. It's not just singing. It's like they did all types of talents hit the stage.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in years, but it was. I used to
They
watch it.
actually had some great comedics.
Yeah, they have comedians, they have magicians, they have death-defying
watched it.
acts, they have singers, musicians.
I think I watched like one episode of
Dance
American
troops.
Idol when it first came on, and then I haven't watched anything or paid attention to anything.
I
since.
don't. I don't. My wife loves watching. Those
Man, we are
shows, so.
derailed already.
Yeah.
We have covered
There you
everything
go.
but the subject.
I'm the one
I
that
stayed in-
derails.
so-
I
Hey,
derail.
I stayed in the comedic part because I was talking about.
But you were
comics.
talking about Gremlins, though. That was
Gremlins.
good.
Gremlins,
Gremlins.
yes.
So let's go back to that. Gremlins.
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about comedic horror films. Let's title it out. Let people know. Now we can move forward.
Let's talk about the genre, the subgenre of horror comedies.
Yes.
Okay. There are horror films, and then there are horror comedies.
What the fuck?
Now, some horrors can have comedy in them, but then there's just horrors that are obviously just trying to be funny at the same time. There's comedy pretty much strewn throughout.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just derailed. One more second. I just looked up comedic horror films, and Get Out was in there.
I know I didn't put that on our list
was like,
because
why
it's
the
bullshit.
fuck?
I don't.
It's like-
It
consider
is a
that.
funny movie.
But it's not a comedic horror.
I think of that movie as a comedy.
That's
The
'cause you
TSA
black.
agent is hilarious. No, it's a funny movie. It's a funny movie, but at the same time, it's not really a comedy. I mean, it did get
It's not a
nominated,
comedy, but
It's
it has
it's not a
humor.
comedy.
But there
It's-
are ones that are like
It has
comedy.
humor, but I wouldn't consider that a comedy.
It,
Right,
no,
exactly.
It's,
This
the
is
reason why
exactly-
is because it has realistic elements in it that teeters at that line, so you almost don't want to laugh at it
yeah,
because you want to show respect to it.
right.
So
Yeah. So, but Gremlins, love that movie.
Yes.
Total Christmas movie, by the way. It all takes
It
place
is,
in a
yeah.
small
Yes.
town, which basically looks like.
I remember that. Yeah,
What is that town in It's a Wonderful Life? Something Falls.
I don't know. It's been so long.
Oh, I
since I've
love that.
seen
The movie's so fucking good. It's totally.
Do you watch it every year?
Almost every year. I own it. Yeah, I own
Well,
it.
I grew up on White Christmas.
Okay, White Christmas is okay.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life is fantastic. Frank Capra.
I
first
now watch Krampus.
Are we
It's my
derailing
favorite
again?
movie. No, this is all.
So the
I brought it back
town-
with Krampus.
Something Falls. I always forget what it's called. Like not
Darkness
Waterfall.
Falls?
No. Something.
Dark Skies.
I have a totally random thing
Oh
I
my
just
God, we
discovered. This is
cannot
total
stay on
derail
topic.
because I said Darkness Falls. So I recently rewatched that movie and I was like, what happened to this main actor, this guy in this movie? Like I haven't seen him in anything. And I looked up the guy. The guy actually. So in the movie Darkness Falls, the
I never
Tooth
even heard of
Fairy.
This movie.
So good, dude. We got to watch
Okay,
it.
okay.
It's a horror movie. Came out in like 2001 or
Yeah.
something like that. Have you seen it? Darkness Falls.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the Tooth Fairy, like comes after you. If you look at the Tooth Fairy, then she'll try to kill you. But if there's light, she can't get to you. So this guy's like, this Tooth Fairy's trying to kill this guy his whole life, and he ends up in a mental institution from when he was a little kid. It is ridiculous. And that's like the whole premise for the movie. And so if you fall asleep and the lights go out, like she'll get you and kill you. Like snap your neck or something. It's really a brutal movie. And
Snap your neck or
Like
snap your
what?
dick? What'd you say?
I'm an
Snap your neck.
elemental,
Neck, okay.
and what I'm going to do is something physical.
Right.
Oh yeah. She'll like rip you apart. And so
Just see this.
this is just the movie. But then I was reading an article, and the main actor died of like sleep apnea, like in his sleep. Ooh, like suffocated or something.
He looked at the Tooth Fairy.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. Like he did this movie Darkness Falls, and then a few years later, like that's why. And he's from like Northern Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah. But apparently he was like some big upcoming whatever, and then it was just like dead one day.
Jesus.
Like of sleep apnea. They like suffocated.
That's crazy. No, I've never even
dark.
heard of this film. I remember the
But I
short.
was like, he was in Darkness Falls, and that's what he
I
was
remember
trying
the
to
short
avoid
film.
the whole movie.
I remember the
falling
short film
asleep.
with Alan Rickman as a Tooth Fairy where he crushes up the tooth and he snorts it. You ever see that? There's a short film with Alan Rickman plays a Tooth Fairy. It's literally like a 7-minute short. You can watch it on
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, I do remember
he like
that.
breaks into this girl's room. He's got the
Yeah.
little fucking wings.
It
and
was
then
like super creepy
he's,
or
he's
whatever.
totally whacked out of his head. He
I've
grabs
never-
the tooth, he crushes it up, and he snorts it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
Yeah, it was on like
Never seen it?
Vimeo or something.
Yeah,
It was like in
Vimeo,
the early
YouTube.
days of Vimeo when that was like blowing up as this indie.
I guess
scene.
whoever that made this short film, Alan Rickman must have been his friend.
Yeah.
So
know-
we've mentioned one horror comedy.
I got another
really.
one.
Darkness Falls is not a comedy.
Right.
I don't know if you guys seen this one.
Jesus, Neil.
Have you guys seen Tucker and Dale versus
Yeah,
Evil?
Yeah.
Tucker Dale versus Evil. I love that
That is
movie.
hilarious.
Okay, I have not seen this, but I know this is on the list of horror comedies.
Is it? You have to watch it.
Yeah.
It's the whole film. It's all a
It
misunderstanding.
makes me think of Army of Darkness, but it probably has got nothing to do with that, which is also a horror
I can
comedy.
see. No, I can see how you
It's-
can relate
it's
them,
not.
but it has no demons in it. But it's just about this huge misunderstanding.
It's literally
of two
like-
cultures.
Yeah, it's like
it's
the Wrong Turn movies. Have you seen
Exactly,
those?
yeah.
No, I
Heard of
haven't.
those?
No, I heard of them. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I saw the first one. Yeah,
there's like 5 of them now.
I didn't know that.
I recently
kidding?
discovered this. I was like, they made 4 sequels to
you need
Wrong
to get
Turn?
GPS.
I love the first one. I thought the first one was crazy,
Yeah.
but I didn't know they made all those sequels. But yeah, so you know how you have like the hillbilly, like
Yeah.
the Deliverance situation, like
Yeah.
that whole whatever. I don't know if I guess it's a stereotype, but I mean,
No,
it
it's
is
real.
a
It's real. It's
stereotype.
real.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
real.
a stereotype. So you have all like the hillbilly. So basically, Tucker and Dale
Well,
are
they
like
both
the
have the
two
stereotypes,
nicest.
yeah.
Yeah. They're like, and you watch this movie, they're like the nicest hillbillies you could
Yeah.
ever meet.
Okay.
Super shy,
Is it that guy,
friendly, goofy.
From
Serenity.
Dodgeball.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And he did the robot in Rogue One.
Yes.
Is it that guy? That
Yeah,
guy's
yeah,
in it, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I forget what his
Serenity.
name is.
I always
He's
forget
the
his fucking
pilot.
name. Paul Turn.
Yeah, he has
Alan Turing? No,
yeah,
that's the guy who created
Alan,
the computer.
Alan something.
Turing's the guy who created the computer.
Yeah,
in
he did
Imitation
that.
Game.
Yeah,
No. Fuck.
Tudyk.
Tudyk,
like
right.
that. Alan Tudyk or something. When we have phones, we can look it up.
Yeah,
but-
Alan Tudyk.
So
Yep. Yeah, Alan
Tudyk and Tyler Labine.
Yeah, it was actually in a really good show on Hulu where he played this like stoner guy that could talk to spirits, and he like had a whole job where he'd go help people. It's a really funny show. He's just on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so these kids are like going on vacation to, you know, West Virginia or whatever to like stay in some cabin, and they bump into Tucker and Dale, and like one of them sees like one of the chicks, and they make eye contact, and Tucker's like, go talk to her, man. She said to you, man. So he goes over, and he's just super awkward. And like all the guys are just like, yo, dude, back up, man. Get away from my girl, man. Like, and they're just freaking out because he looks
No. You
like
didn't
this
explain the
scary
scene.
hillbilly.
You didn't explain the scene. He has this fucking like pitchfork.
Yeah, it's like a pitchfork. He's like, y'all going camping? And,
And they
like a
freaked.
psycho laugh.
They
He's like,
misunderstood
"Ah!"
that and freaked out.
Yeah, they thought he was like dangerous, and like
He was
so
just
now they feel
nervous.
bad, and because he's nervous talking to this girl.
Yeah.
They go to the camp, and like basically they where they live, Tucker and Dale, is like kind of close to their campsite, and so they happen to end up kind of like bumping into each other, and the kids start killing themselves of their own fear. They like freak out and run, and then like one kid like runs into a tree branch and it like impales him. Another kid like ends up running into like a wood chipper. Like they all end up killing themselves trying
Because they're
to,
trying
like,
to say-
run away from these killers who are not killers. You're just like, why are these kids? They're like a suicide
just
cult.
crazy. It must
They
be
think
that
these
city.
kids are like killing themselves on purpose.
Right.
They
It
don't
must be that
understand like
city
why.
fog.
It's really funny.
You forgot to say like when the girl went, she went not skinny dipping, but she had her underwear on.
Yeah.
And she sees them, and he's trying to warn her that the rock is slippery, but she thinks that
He's like a peeping Tom,
peeping
or he's
Tom.
coming
So
to
she
get
slips
her,
off the rock,
hits her
and
head.
falls in the water.
Yeah.
They go and save her.
They save her
and
from
they
drowning.
like they're holding her, trying to tell their friends, "Hey, your friend fell. Your friend
Yeah,
fell."
and they're like, they killed our friend.
So Tucker and Dale versus evil is the idea is like evil, like this kind of prejudice against stereotypes. Like
Exactly.
They're basically
Exactly.
being like picked on, or there's a bias against them.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's a crazy hilarious.
Interesting.
It's
All
great.
right.
I think
it's
people
so
should
clever.
watch it.
Yeah.
I gotta check it out. Check it out. All right, let's name another one. Name another horror comedy.
Zombieland.
Zombieland, great one. Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead, two of them. But let's talk
Shaun of the
Zombieland.
Yeah.
I love Zombieland.
Yeah, so
love
good.
that movie.
Oh yeah, it's
Ruben
incredible.
Fleischer
Yeah.
directed it, who did the recent Venom movie.
Have you guys seen
Venom.
Venom?
Still
yet?
haven't seen it.
Venom.
Venom.
All right, that's Eminem. That's our.
I like that song actually.
Eminem imitation.
Yeah. Venom. I like the song.
It's catchy.
Venom.
That might be the best thing about that movie.
Eating me some lemons.
Did Tom Hardy like Venom? Did he say he was happy with the final product?
I don't know. I haven't heard him talk about it.
I
You
thought
know,
there was an interview where
He's
was
staying
like,
quiet
he didn't-
because there's
He
more.
didn't like it. It's making so much money.
It
Way
is.
more money than I thought.
Because it's Venom.
It's also PG-13.
Yeah,
That
I
helped,
guess
that
that's
helped.
true.
But okay, so Zombieland though,
Yeah.
great movie. Originally supposed to be a TV show. They
Yeah.
ended up doing this movie with Jesse Eisenberg, which they're making. It's supposed to be making a sequel to.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin.
Yeah,
Awesome movie.
It's great, and
Yeah.
it has like these
Funny
little
as
surprises
hell.
with the Bill Murray.
Bill Murray
and-
cameo.
Yeah.
So good.
The
So good.
rules, the
The
rule of
rules,
it,
yeah.
double tap. You
Yeah.
know,
That's what makes it unique. Like all those little
rules that
elements,
keep these little like they would superimpose, do the title titles above it. It'd be rule, blah, and it would be
Yeah.
like some animated rule or whatever, and then there would be something in the film to explain that rule. So like there's the double tap rule, like always double tap a zombie if they're coming at you. This is how to survive in Zombieland.
Yeah.
Coming at you, shoot them once. If you think they're dead, doesn't matter. Double tap. Always shoot them again just to make sure they're really dead.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where he hits a zombie with his car, and then he backs up and he rolls over him again, and it's like double tap.
Yeah.
Like so it's a really funny movie though. It's also, but it's a really well done horror. The zombie elements of it are really good.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
solid.
yeah.
They're solid. So it looks like a real horror film, but it's got all this comedy
I
elements.
gotta watch that again. I haven't seen it in a
Yeah.
long time.
It's
I
so
recently
good.
rewatched it. It is really
you?
good.
I've seen it 100 times.
It holds up.
Yeah, it does. Shaun of the Dead is another one. Very different, though, than Zombieland.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, totally British. Simon Pegg,
Yeah.
Nick Frost, Edgar
European
Wright directed
humor,
this.
yeah. But it was really good.
Very good.
Very
Also
funny.
really good with the zombies, but just totally different. Totally different story. And I love
Yeah.
Simon Pegg's character in that film.
Yeah.
And I like the ending.
Yeah, I love the
Shot
ending.
at
I don't remember the
Zombieland leaves it open. They're off.
Wait, which
to
ending
another
are you
place.
talking about? Like the pre-ending ending, not the one where they're all like chained up or whatever.
No. The one where like what happened after all the
I
zombies.
just I
were
like that
cleaned
whole
up.
scene where they're there and like all the drama of like
The pub.
yeah, where everything like just disintegrates. Like,
And that
I
one
like all
guy's
that.
like he likes Simon Pegg's girlfriend,
Yeah.
Sean's girlfriend. So then he just kind of like gets really embarrassed. So he runs out into the zombie horde.
yeah, there's
that.
like all these like
It all
things
goes to
that
shit.
happen where
Yeah.
you're like his mom and it's
People
like
are
all
getting
this
eaten,
stuff
and his best friend Nick
best
Frost
friend.
gets eaten.
Yeah, it was just
Turns
like
into-
all, and it was like I was like, this is like a comedy, but now it's getting like kind of this drama.
Simon Pegg's all emotional. It's a
Yeah.
great scene. No, but what happens at the tag ending after that is like, okay, so this outbreak all of a sudden just kind of happens,
Yeah.
right? Over a
Yeah.
24,
But they're
48
like
hour
stupid
period.
zombies.
Yeah, but it's like a 24, 48 hour period, and it just kind of evolves until like an insane epidemic,
Yeah.
right? But then by the next day, the military and the cops and everything are coming in SWAT gear or whatever, and they're cleaning up these zombies and handling them, like rounding them up. And
Yeah.
then it ends up being this thing where they get ushered into society, brought into the fold of society in a new way. They're being put on game shows.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg's got his friend, Nick Frost's character.
They're playing video
in
games
a shed. He
Yeah.
keeps him chained up in the shed. He goes in, they still play video games. He tries to eat him while they're playing
He's
video
like, hey
games.
man,
He's like,
I told you
"Hey!"
about that. He's like,
Ooh,
come
sorry.
on.
He's basically like a Frankenstein now.
Yeah.
So, but I love that movie.
Yeah,
that
it's
one's
great.
fucking hilarious.
Have you guys haven't seen? Wait, maybe Tiago's seen it. Krampus.
I still have not seen this. You've
No,
mentioned
I
it
have
4,000
not seen it
times.
yet.
Oh,
I plan to
man.
watch it. I'm holding it off till the holidays.
It's really good.
I kind of
It's,
don't want to watch it on the holidays. I'd rather watch it now and get it over.
watch it now. It is it's a solid Christmas movie, but it's solid in the sense
It doesn't
that
feel like a
like
Christmas movie.
it is 100% a Christmas movie.
I mean, it's
but
supposed to be.
It's like, you know what it is? It's like this movie that like takes up, well, because the whole concept of Krampus comes when like people don't believe in like Santa Claus or whatever. Like Krampus is like the opposite of Santa Claus.
Okay.
So, if Santa Claus was God, then Krampus would be like the devil.
devil. Okay.
So it's kind of like that idea.
Okay.
And the movie shows like all these the dark aspects of like the holiday season. Like the literal opening of the film is like a Walmart in slow motion with like Bing Crosby playing in the background. And they open the doors on Black Friday, and people are literally like
Trampling
speeding
over
each other up, smashing each other, trying to get the new Xbox or the new this or the new that. Like people are like, it just goes on for like 5 minutes. It's like slow mo, like and just like assault.
Right.
We're just like this degradation of society over like materialism
Right.
and all this shit.
Right.
And so that happens, and then it goes to the family, and the family like her sister comes, and these like family members that only see each other once a year. They don't really get along that well, and they're trying to force themselves to get along and be friendly to each other and cordial and nice, and
Right.
it just blows up. And then this kid writes this letter to Santa Claus or whatever about how he hates whatever Santa Claus or he hates Christmas or something like
Okay.
that, and he writes it, and then it like tears it up, throws it out the window or something,
And
then
it's
it like
sucked out of the window into
Yeah.
a whirling wind.
no, he writes a letter about something like asking Santa Claus to to make his parents fall in love again, and like that is like the family members as like cousins and stuff will like die or whatever. Like, and then one of the cousins finds the letter and reads it at dinner. That's what sparks the whole
Oh.
insanity.
Oh wow.
So then he tears the letter up, throws it out the window, and then it like shoots off into the sky, and then Krampus like shows up. And it's like really well done.
Really?
Like Krampus has all these like Christmas creatures that show up.
Huh.
Like, there's little gingerbread men that like with knives that are trying to like murder them, and all these
Jesus.
like toys that bust open, and it's really I feel like it's really well done. Like
So it's
the
a good
creatures.
movie, like solid, like cinematography.
I
think I've seen
effects.
The
some of
production
it.
value is fantastic, I
Really?
think, and
Because I remember the
I
gingerbread
feel like this
scene.
movie's not
Yeah.
talked about enough. Then
it has humor, but it's like
dark.
it's like humor, and then it's like it rides this line of like funny, but then like serious and like dark, and like
Is
what's
it
gonna happen
gory?
to these people?
I think I tried to watch
parts
it,
of
but
it.
I fell
feel like
asleep.
they're like some of the creatures are really disturbing. They remind me of like Human Centipede, one of
Ugh.
the creatures. I mean, it's not, but
Yeah.
it's one of those like slinky things.
Yeah.
But then like it gets cut open and like its intestines pours out, and it's like some weird, gross alien type
Ugh.
creature. Like it's a graphic movie, but I wouldn't say there's like human
okay,
graphicness. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
Huh.
But it's really well done. Like it's and it does have a dark ending though. I'll say it's not an upbeat ending.
Right.
But it's like a really solid movie, and it does have humor elements. I wouldn't say it's a comedy though. Actually,
Okay.
now that I think about
really,
it.
you wouldn't say so? It's not.
Maybe like horror
It teeters
first,
that line?
comedy second.
Okay.
Yeah, there's less comedy than there is horror.
Okay, so we'll say
But
it's
there
not.
are funny elements.
Okay, but there's funny elements in the new Halloween movie, which we saw. So
There's way more in
that's
this
got-
than that.
Okay,
Way
it-
more.
It had comedy.
There's more comedy in Krampus than there
Okay,
is
so
in this.
okay,
yeah.
so it
It's
might
a
be a
horror.
horror.
Like the
comedy.
whole cast is like what's his name from Parks and Recs?
Yeah.
He plays like the main guy.
Which one?
Michael something. What's that actor's name?
The one with the mustache, right?
He was in the Secret Life of Walter Schmitty.
Oh, Adam Scott.
Adam Scott.
Oh yeah, okay.
Adam Scott.
Michael Scott is what you're thinking.
Oh,
Of. Adam
yeah, yeah.
Scott.
Adam Scott,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's great. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so
Yeah, he's
in
in it.
Krampus.
He's and then God, the other guy from what the hell is his name? He's been in like a
Dwight
million
Schrute?
movies. No, not Dwight Schrute.
Dwight Schrute from The Office.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me just find.
Okay,
this.
I
He's
didn't
really
realize. I think you mentioned recently that Adam Scott was in it. I didn't realize that. I love him. I'll see him in.
funny. Oh yeah,
pretty much
Toni Collette's
anything.
in it.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, dude, everybody's in it, man.
Yeah, Toni Collette, Adam Scott.
Oh, David Kocher.
Oh yeah.
He
He's
is
also in
funny.
The Office. Also,
He-
he plays Packer in
Yeah.
The Office.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
like the funniest aspect
David
of this
Koechner,
movie. Like
Koechner.
he plays
Yeah.
a piece of shit. Like he's like married to Toni Collette's sister. So he's
Okay.
like the whatever uncle or something like that, or uncle-in-law.
David
I don't know how that
Koechner,
works,
I
but
think is how it's pronounced.
he's funny. Like
Yeah.
his performance is very humorous.
Okay, I like him. He's good. He was in Hot Tub Time Machine. No, he wasn't. It's the other guy.
I was
who's
gonna
bald.
say that,
Yeah.
Hot Tub Time, but he's not.
That bald guy that's in Hot Tub Time Machine.
He's in Anchorman.
Yes, Anchorman. Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, that's
one of-
right.
He's one of the four. He's with the cowboy hat.
Yeah. He was in that big battle in the park.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so was everybody, right?
I know, right?
Okay, so
It is very Christmassy movie though.
yes.
You know what I just thought of? I just want to pay homage to this horror comedy. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, the original is not a comedy really, but the newer one, the 80s one with
What was his name?
no, it's a Seymour.
Seymour.
Feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
Oh,
Rick
yeah.
Moranis.
Yeah.
I was never into that.
you ever
I've
seen
seen it. I've seen it, and I just
It's
remember
weird.
being
It's a
super
musical.
disturbed. It's the Venus
Venus
Flytrap.
Flytrap.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I had multiple Venus Flytraps. I was like obsessed with them as a kid.
Yeah. So the original one is really not a
Yeah.
comedy. I've seen it. Jack Nicholson
It
shows
was black
up in
and
that
white.
one.
No,
it
not
wasn't black and white.
It was
It was just like in the 60s. It was
Yeah.
in color, but it was a fine film. Jack Nicholson shows up in that when he was a young Jack Nicholson, like
Yeah.
pre-fame. Jesus, that's the gingerbread man. He's showing me a picture.
Yeah, I
of
remember
Krampus.
that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but the Little Shop of Horrors from the 80s, I think it came out in like 86, whatever. Rick Moranis, Steve Martin plays the evil dentist.
Yeah,
Bill
yeah.
Murray shows up in it.
Bill
Bill,
Murray, yeah.
Bill Murray plays his patient who loves pain, and that's
It's like the Ghostbuster cast.
yeah, Jack Nicholson played the character that Bill Murray plays in the original.
Yeah.
That was Jack
Was
Nicholson.
it like based on a play or a Broadway show or something?
No, it
always felt like
became
a
one.
Broadway show.
It became
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yes, it
Maybe
became
that's
one.
what
I don't
it
know
is.
if it was originally based off anything. I mean, there was a movie in the 60s. That's what I thought was the first
With
one.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, well, Jack Nicholson only has a small part. Like he's in 5
But they
minutes
had
of the
like
film.
I remember when the
The
DVDs
DVD
first
came out, they were
it was
putting
like,
his
he's on the
picture on
front.
it.
Picture
I
on it,
always the VHS they were doing that with, and I watched it, and I was like, "This fucking guy's in it for 5 minutes, if that." And it's because it was pre-fame Nicholson,
Yeah.
and they wanted to promote it, and they put him on the front. But the newer one had Tisha Campbell, I remember, was in it as one of the singing neighbors Gina from Martin.
Gina from Martin.
Yeah. Weird movie.
It's
a
super
weird
It was
movie.
made like a play.
Yes, a musical.
It was like a horror musical.
But it's
comedy,
so strange. It's such a strange movie. I remember liking it, but I haven't watched it also in like 20 years.
I know. I just I was flipping and looking for films, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a
very much
classic.
a comedy though. It was made way more comedic than the original one.
Yeah. The premise of the film is about an alien plant that comes to Earth, that goes to a plant shop, and the only thing it eats is actually humans.
So he ends up buying it from the plant shop. He sees it and he gets like this kind of like, whoa, I gotta buy this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he starts feeding it by feeding his finger, like blood from his finger.
Yep.
And then it just grows and grows.
It gets a bigger appetite.
It gets a bigger appetite, and
it starts talking.
And it's like, feed me, Seymour, feed me. There's a whole musical number.
That's what I didn't remember. I remember him like cutting his finger and like dripping blood into its mouth, and that disturbed me as a kid. And I was like,
it's like a big puppet being a flytrap. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Army of Darkness?
No, we didn't. Let's talk about it for a second. We
talk
watched
about
it.
That's a comedy. It's hard for me to call it, like a horror movie. I mean, I guess there's horror elements because it's in the Evil Dead universe.
It's a horror comedy.
It's very much a comedy.
But it's very horror, though,
It's a
too.
spaz
Not that it's scary particularly, but neither is Scary Movie, but it's a scary movie would be a horror comedy.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
it's got horror elements to it. The
It does.
undead, all those different things.
Yeah.
And that is a classic.
still remember The Witch.
Army of
movie.
Darkness
Yeah.
is one of the weirdest. The Witch, yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
Army of Darkness is one of the weirdest movies I've
get me.
ever
Yeah.
seen in my life.
It's just a spaz.
And I love it because it's so creative. It's so different. It's like you won't see anything else like it.
There's a line in that movie where the princess or whatever walks in to Bruce Campbell's room or something, and she leaves the door open when she comes in, and Bruce Campbell turns to her. And he's like, "What were you raised in a barn? Shut the door." And for some reason, that line always stuck in my head. So anytime I'm like with my family and they get out of my car or like we go into a house or something and someone leaves like the front door open, I'm like, "What were you raised in a barn? Shut the door." I've been saying that for like the last 20 years
Because of Army of
Darkness. Yeah.
I saw that movie when it came out. I was 8. I think it came out in 93. I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I just remember going, what the fuck am I watching? I remember that back then going, this is the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life.
I love it.
And then I watched it again a few years later. And I was like, God, it's still so weird. And I watched it again a few years after that. And I'm like, it's so weird, but I like it.
Yeah.
Like, it took, I think the first time I watched it, I was like, this is so weird. I didn't know if I liked it, but I was like,
I
remembered
it.
it.
The first time I saw it,
I was like,
loved it.
I remembered it.
Yeah.
Always though. Like I always
When
remember the chainsaw hand, all that stuff.
Dude, when he's like talking to
The car.
the priest guy who has like the book, he's like,
Yeah.
now remember,
Oh, yeah.
these are the words. He's like klatu, varato, necktie, and he's like klatu, varato. He's like, this is important. He's like, I got it. I remember your damn words. And then at the end, he's just like klatu. And he like can't remember shit. Like it's so good. I'm like, this is amazing.
I remember that.
That movie was awesome. That was a great
Now I
film.
want to rewatch it.
They did a recent
I
one.
love Bruce Campbell, by
Did
the
you
way.
guys watch the recent
Bruce
one?
Campbell's amazing.
Ash
I've
versus
watched
Evil
Ash
Dead.
vs. Evil. I watched all the seasons. It's so good.
Yeah.
I think they're
No,
on
the
Netflix.
movie.
No.
Oh,
They
I
they
didn't
came
watch
out with
the
a movie
remake.
about-
They did a remake for
did?
Evil Dead. It's not funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's very
Well, the original
sad.
Evil Dead wasn't funny either.
No, the second one was. The
So there
second
was
one had
Evil Dead,
humor.
there was Evil Dead 2, and there's Army of Darkness. And they
Yeah.
progressively got weirder and funnier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got bigger
Army of-
budget. The first movie has like no budget.
Sam Raimi, who did the Spider-Man movies and,
Yeah.
and The Gift and all that, he did these.
Yeah.
Back in the day, 80s, early 80s.
He has
82?
a very unique style about
Yeah.
how he shoots, which I feel like other people have copied. He's done like this. He did this whole thing where it's like he's like weird where the camera's like almost attached to something and it like moves with the
Oh,
thing.
it's when if you have the cam on you, like you have it on your body cam, but like it's on you and it's.
But
facing
he'll
you,
have
that
it like
thing
attached
where-
to like objects
Spike
or
Lee
something.
thing?
It's kind of like, but this
Oh.
is like before Spike Lee did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does it in the first Evil Dead. There's like scene, and he do these like weird cuts where he's like putting the chainsaw like on his thing, and it's like
Batman.
All these weird. Yeah, well, they do a similar thing in Spider-Man 2. With Doc Ock, like when Doc Ock becomes
yeah.
Doc Ock, there's like all these like quick cuts,
Quick
and I was
cuts.
like, "This is such a Sam Raimi
Yeah.
cut, like the way he edited that
Oh
scene.
yeah, I know what you're talking
Like the
about.
shadows and the way, and all these weird angles where it's like up, down, left, right,
Comic
back,
book style,
behind.
yeah.
Right.
Like a comic book,
Right. Okay, there's also Scary Movie, which is the ultimate horror
Yeah,
comedy when you think
the
about it.
Wayne brothers,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Wayne brothers did the first 2 or 3. and then went over to the airplane guys.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Abrams Zucker guys, like they did
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, they did.
I think was
Police
the third
Squad.
one Signs?
Naked Gun. They did a Signs thing in I think the third one. Yes,
I
they did the
actually really
Signs
liked the
one.
third
Yeah.
one. I thought the third
The
one.
first
was
one
really
was a
funny.
straight up parody of Scream.
Yeah.
And it had the I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of elements to it and all those other things, but it was really just like it was the Scream storyline.
They had a joke in there about isn't it the same thing?
Dookie.
Yeah.
Was it Dookie? Was the her brother?
Dewey. Dewey.
It was Dookie in
Deputy
Scary
Dewey.
Movie. Yeah, but it was Dookie.
Dookie, yeah.
Or Doofus. It was one of
And
the
I like
two.
the way
think it was
that
Dookie. I
I
think
actually
you're
like
right,
the way Scary Movie. I thought Scary Movie was like too
It had a good
R-rated. Like it
was
just
very
seemed very like
vulgar.
Vulgar, yeah. But I like the twist at the end where like Dewey is like supposed to be this doofus or whatever.
Is Doofus Dookie? Or something?
I think it was
He's always
Doofus.
shitting his pants. Why I think
kept
Dookie, but he was
shitting
Doofus. I think. Yeah.
Doofus, yeah. At
Deputy
the end,
Doofus.
they show him like walking, like all goofy doofus,
Verbal
like,
Kint.
and then he becomes Verbal Kint, where he like
Usual
is
Suspects.
walking, like straightens up, and then he hops into like some Ferrari and like lights a cigarette or whatever with
Yeah.
some hot chick and speeds off into the sunset.
He
And I
was- he was
for
the-
no reason, like.
He was the killer, though. That was the whole
Was he
idea.
the killer?
Yeah, spoiler
Oh.
alert. He was the killer,
Yeah.
and he ended up being. They did a Usual Suspects thing
Yeah.
where he was acting retarded the whole film.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, mentally handicapped the whole film. Special needs the whole film, and
All of
I
these
thought
things.
the movie was funny. It was a funny film. They did the
It was humorous.
Scream-esque
Yeah.
elements pretty well too.
Yeah.
in that first film, and then
That was like Waza.
and Marlon and Sean Wayne's were funny in it. Sean Wayne's played
Anna Faris. It was
the
like
gay
her
guy.
like
one of her first ones.
One of
Oh,
her
yeah,
first
that
films.
was-
Maybe
yeah,
her
that's
first
right,
film,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's
I don't
from
know.
Baltimore, I think. Baltimore,
sure?
Maryland. Yeah.
Didn't know that. Sean Wayne's played the overly gay guy.
Yeah.
Marlon Wayne's.
There are elements I want to say in Scary Movie that are from also Scream 2. Because
Probably because it came after. It came out in 2000,
right?
I think.
Isn't there a scene where they're like in the bathroom stall?
Oh,
and
in
in
the-
the
yeah.
theater, and then instead of a knife coming through,
It's a penis, right?
Yeah.
A glory hole.
like goes into his ear, and,
Goes
like, murders
out the
him.
other side.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's
that was
just
horrible.
nasty.
Oh, there's.
I remember that.
Do you
That's
remember
what I'm
the
saying. It's like
second one-
super vulgar.
Do you remember the second one where there's like the clown thing or whatever underneath the bed? That's like a ghost, a haunted mansion. Kind
Yeah,
of
it was
one. The second
almost
one,
like
they all go there.
Hill House or something like that. type
Yeah, they had Chris
parody.
Elliott played the butler with
Yeah,
the fucked up
like,
hands.
He's like, grab my hand. He's like, get it away from me. He's like, it's my good
He's
hand.
serving the food.
Remember that? He
and
has
his
like this,
nails
like,
breaking
it's
off.
all in it,
Oh
in
my
it.
god!
Oh my
So
God.
gross. But there's a scene where there's that ghost or whatever creature underneath the bed, and it's like trying to
bangs
tempt
it or
Sean
something?
Wayne's to come to it, and then he practically rapes the ghost thing, and that big penis comes out and wraps around his neck. It's such a weird
That's
movie.
super- I just remember he puts a bag over the ghost's head or
Yeah.
whatever. It was like this chick or whatever, this
Yeah.
demon chick, and like he takes a trash bag or whatever, paper bag, and puts it over her head
Yeah.
and like bangs.
Well, the
ghost or
Wayne's
whatever.
brothers are vulgar. Like,
They
they're
are,
so
yeah.
raunchy. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in
Oh
the
my
hood.
god, that is
Oh my gosh,
that's
yeah.
a brutal movie.
So I love that.
But it's
movie,
funny.
though.
I
It's
love
so
it too.
funny, but it's so raunchy. It's so
is.
like over the top.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah,
sucker.
they
I'm
were
gonna
get
they
you
were
sucker,
very
yeah.
they were very gruesome in that film. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I'm visualizing the penis going through the guy's ear.
Yeah, yeah, I remember
that
that,
was
yeah.
just foul.
I was like, I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
out.
They
That's
did, I
why I
think,
like the
5 of
third
those.
one. I feel like didn't have any of that kind of
'Cause
like,
they went
you know,
PG-13.
dick and
I think
fart joke or whatever. What do they call it? Dick and something humor.
But dick jokes really.
Yeah.
It's
Dick
all,
jokes,
it's all
really.
dick
Yeah.
and sexual. But the third one I think went PG-13. I mean Leslie
Maybe
Nielsen.
that's
I think
what
they
it
brought
was.
Leslie Nielsen into the fold at one point, which is
He
he's
played the
from-
president.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's from Naked Gun. It's
That
like
was like
they,
he
they
was-
brought all those guys.
I just
in.
remember that scene where he's talking. He's in the White House. He's talking to a Native American, and he's like, "Hey, how are ya? Hey, how are ya?" I was like, this is so fucked up. But like that light humor to me is funny, and I remember it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. For
But
some
that's
reason,
the Abrams Zuckers guy, the guys that did Airplane and Naked Gun. That's what all that humor is,
Yeah.
and they just brought it
Yeah.
to the Naked Gun. The Wayne's brothers, the Wayne's guys, all left. Keenan Ivory,
It was like
all
the
those.
signs where they had like the aliens. They wanted to touch him or whatever.
Yeah.
Because-
Gosh,
remember
yeah.
they like, and then
Yeah.
they found out they like pee, they urinate out of their fingers or something like
I
that.
remember that.
It's so foul.
Yeah, it was funny. And then they did a
That
fourth
reminds me
one.
of the family.
I don't
When you
remember
were
the
saying
fourth
that,
one.
it just reminded me of the Family Guy one with E.T. is in the hospital with the kid with AIDS.
Yeah.
He's-
There's a little boy that has AIDS.
Yeah.
It's like dying of AIDS, and ET's there, and ET can like cure him
with his finger. Yeah.
And ET's like going to touch him,
But he stops.
and then he stops. So what does he say?
He says something like,
ET's he's like
No, I'm
he's
sorry,
like
I don't wanna get
ET.
AIDS.
He's like, no,
"No, I don't want to get AIDS."
That's so wrong.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Family Guy.
Anyways,
The movie sucked really bad.
Which one?
But everybody knows The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Well, there's a comedic spoof that came out from it. It's called The Walking Deceased.
Oh,
I heard of this.
Movie
I don't think
was
I did.
horrible, but it's one of the funniest trailers I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Oh,
And I'll
really?
show it to you guys. Yeah, the trailer is hilarious, and I thought it was just going to be this great comedy, great horror comedy, but it wasn't. But the trailer, like one of the scenes in the trailer, it's the first scene when he comes out of the hospital in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And the guy sees the little girl zombie, and the little girl goes, "But I'm not dead." He's like, "That's just what a zombie would say." He shoots her.
That's just what a zombie would say.
He shoots her. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, man.
Um,
Rick Grimes.
Oh my gosh, man.
Okay, so Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice definitely has horror elements. It's very it's all ghosts and horror-esque stuff.
But I mean, you could say like High Spirits, too.
Yeah, but they would be. Also, what's that
I
one
love
with
High
Dan
Spirits.
Aykroyd and Demi Moore, Chevy Chase? What's that one? With,
Oh, my God.
Oh,
That
the
movie-
one where they die in the house?
they go in
They're
the
in,
house.
they're in that house, and there's like all those creatures
What the
or
hell?
whatever.
Yeah. What's the movie called?
Oh, God, yeah.
No, not nonsense. Something nonsense.
I do. All I know is that movie effed me up. As a
Dan
kid.
Aykroyd's makeup in that fucked me up.
Yeah.
That movie. I think he directed that, didn't he? Fuck.
I don't know.
What is it called? You guys know it. It's something.
Yeah, I know. I'm seeing it in my head.
And I don't know why nonsense is coming into my head. Like something got it right here. It is Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing but
There's
trouble.
the nonsense. Nothing But Trouble. Nothing But Trouble. Which
God.
Dan Aykroyd directed. Peter Aykroyd wrote it with him. Yeah, that movie is fucking whack. John Candy's in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A businessman and his friends are captured by a sadistic judge and his equally odd family in the backwoods of a bizarre mansion. It's so weird. That movie is so weird. But I would definitely say that's like a horror comedy.
Yeah.
You know, High Spirits could be like a horror comedy.
Slithers. Don't forget Slithers.
Yeah.
That's the underrated film right there, man. That movie was hilarious.
Slither?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
really good.
hilarious. Yeah.
What was that a comedy?
It was a comedy.
I remember.
Just
it
think
being,
about
like,
the
disturbed.
big woman in the barn that couldn't stop eating.
Oh my God.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if that was funny though.
That was hilarious.
that was like the little leeches or whatever, right? They're little worm dudes.
No, it just got into. Yeah, those little leeches. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know what
yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah. It was a concept from Night of the Living Dead. Is it Night of the Living Dead that had the worms?
No, there
Tremors.
Was,
No.
well,
There-
Tremors is like giant.
Oh,
worms.
Wrath of Khan. had
No.
the-
It was like Night of the Living Dead.
It
or
was,
something
it was like the
that.
Creeps, Night of the Creeps.
Oh, Night of the Creeps. Night of the Creeps.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. It was that concept right there, and it was done well, and it was hilarious.
And who was in that? Was that Nathan Fillion who played
The
the main guy?
yeah, he plays in Castle. He
Yeah,
played
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan
Yeah.
Fillion, yeah.
From
Firefly.
and all
Firefly.
that.
Yeah.
Serenity or whatever.
I just remember this dude from Nothing But Trouble. It was like this
That's
rapper
Shock G.
dude.
That's Shock G from
Is it?
Digital Underground. That's
Yeah,
Tupac.
he had like
He's-
the weird
that's-
nose or whatever.
He's it's your chance to do the dance. It's called do the Humpty Hump.
Yeah, the Humpty Hump, yeah.
But that's Tupac.
Uh-huh.
right
Tupac,
there.
yeah, they're
both
Tupac
in-
was a
they're in
dancer
the
in Digital
movie.
Underground. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Shock
crazy.
G, the one who put the satin in your panties, never knew a hooker that could share me. Shock G.
Yeah, I just remember that for some reason that guy always stood out to me because he
Yeah.
had like some weird stuff on
Fake
his nose.
It's a fake nose.
A fake nose?
Yeah,
Did he
I
lose
look
his
funny.
nose?
That's he would use that as it was like he would put
It was a
on
prop.
fake. It was like prop. It would put fake nose, glasses. It was just a goofy character he was doing as part of his stage persona. He always
Yeah.
when he did the Humpty dance. It's your chance to do that whole thing. He's wearing that fake nose. He goes, "I look funny. Yeah, my nose is big." That's all in his rhymes talking about it.
Oh.
But he could
all right.
rhyme. He was a good rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Beetlejuice I mentioned. I think that I love that movie. Michael Keaton is fantastic in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Burton. That's one of his early films.
Correct. Yeah.
That's one of Michael Keaton's best performances.
It really is. He's
Yeah.
great. He could even do that today because of all the makeup and everything. He could still portray that character. And they had talked about doing another Beetlejuice and
Yeah.
bringing Michael Keaton back. And they could do it and it wouldn't look different.
He's already in the
He's such-
Spider-Man
yeah.
universe now.
Oh, that's
so
right. He
he's
can't do
not-
anything else. That's right.
Yeah, he can't
Yeah,
do
he can't do
anything.
any
He's
other
locked
movies.
in.
Yeah. No, he can only do the Spider-Man
He can
movies.
only do that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how Marvel does it.
Yeah.
Once you're part of the member
Well,
of
that's like
that society.
that's back in like the 30s and the 40s in movies. You had to basically be on loan from another studio. You were contracted only to that studio,
that
and
studio
you
to
had to
do
be
films, yeah.
loaned to
it
another
is
studio.
weird. It's weird that what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. Did that weird movie like in between the Iron Man films, like where it was like him and
Are you talking
Jamie
about
Foxx.
his-
Jamie Foxx.
no, it wasn't him and Jamie Foxx. He was like his dad was
The
the
judge. The judge.
Yeah, the judge.
yeah.
Robert Duvall.
That
I
was
was like,
a
how did he have time to
great
do
film.
this when he has all these fucking Marvel
That was
movies?
such a
Like,
good film.
Yeah, it was a small film. That was good. I liked the judge.
was a
a
good
lot.
movie. I
It was
liked it a
good.
lot.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna name another movie. Tremors. Definitely
Oh, yeah.
funny. There's
Yeah.
like a lot of horror elements to that, but that movie
It
is
became another
funny.
cult following.
Kevin Bacon is hilarious in that movie. Fred Ward. I
It's a
think,
young
is in
Kevin
that.
Bacon too.
Yeah, it's young. He's after Footloose.
The guy from Family
But,
Ties is in it. What's
Which
his name?
guy?
The dad.
The dad.
What's his name?
Fucking. What is his name? I know his name. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Though.
Family Ties.
Mm-hmm.
He might be in Tremors. Oh, you know who's in that?
He
He's
is.
the old guy from Big Trouble in Little China and Three Ninjas. The grandpa from Three Ninjas. The old Asian guy. He's also in Big Trouble
Michael
in Little China.
Gross.
Michael Gross. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. That's right. Michael Gross.
Oh, all right.
He's a dad from Family Ties. No, but the old guy from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And he's also the grandpa in Three Ninjas.
Oh, they're doing a remake of that with The Rock, and apparently John Carpenter's like already.
Oh, I
upset.
heard. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Big
remake.
Trouble in Little China with The Rock.
No, I just want to see. I like the original.
Johnson.
Don't remake that film.
This already over. The Rock is
it's
just
already
scooping up all our favorite movies
Yeah.
and making these like high budget.
It's gonna-
Jumanji was pretty decent.
It's gonna start turning into The Rock
fun.
and Dwayne Johnson.
I feel
and-
like Jumanji. I don't even connect the two. Like in my
You
mind, I
can't.
don't
You
think
can't.
Robin Williams Jumanji and the Rock.
They are
Jumanji.
related, though, in the
They're
beginning.
related, but they're so like one's a complete comedy and the
Yeah.
other one is like more of a drama.
Yeah.
They're both comedies. The original
I don't
Jumanji,
think
David Allen
Jumanji-
Greer's
Yeah.
character is like
It's
totally
not a
like
comedy.
a comedy foil.
You think it's a comedy?
It is a comedy. The original Jumanji is absolutely a family adventure with
it is.
comedy.
Family adventure.
So is the new
There's
one. Family
humorous
adventure with
elements,
comedy.
but
no,
like-
just here's the thing. Comedies these days beat you over the head with comedy every 3 seconds.
Dude, I don't know, man. I watched
Movies back in the day were a slow burn. Ghostbusters. Watch Ghostbusters. There's not always joke in your face every second. Now that's what they do. It's slapstick. It's wild. It's outlandish. It's constant.
You should watch it again. I don't remember a lot. Maybe I laughed one time in Jumanji. And
What?
But that's like saying Hook's not a comedy.
Do you think
Hook,
Jumanji?
do you think
Yeah.
Hook's a comedy?
No.
Okay, but I'm just saying it's a family of Goonies. Like all these
Yeah,
movies
it's-
are not comedy genre, but they are comedy. Like there's
Well,
comedy.
Hook has
they're
more
light.
humor, I think, than Jumanji.
Jumanji,
did.
it's fucking Ron Williams. There's a
I
lot.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't play a morose guy the whole film. Come on.
Unless you're talking
he
about the
doesn't, but
world's
it's more,
greatest
it's
dad.
more serious. It seems far more serious.
It's a
than-
dark theme, but no, there's a lot of funny stuff. The
It's
eight
very
boy,
comedic.
the eight
Like,
boy.
did you ever
thing,
take
the
the
double
new-
take he does at the camera? You don't do double takes. You don't do breaking the fourth wall, looking into the camera. And
Who does it? Oh, the
Bradley
little boy,
Pierce. When
Bradley
we interviewed
Pierce,
him, I
yeah.
brought up that
That was
point.
great.
Yeah, but that's totally a comedy thing.
Yeah.
That movie's come on.
It's not a comedy.
It's a comedy horror.
It is not a comedy horror.
All right.
That's
Anyways, let's. A couple. I need to mention this one film.
Teeth. How have we not talked about teeth?
Because we talked about this so
Oh
many
my
times.
God,
Wait till I
everyone
see it
see
before we
teeth.
talk about it. I need to mention this film, Return of the Living Dead.
What?
Oh my God,
That's-
dude! Why would we mention that?
Return of the Living Dead is the ultimate
my
horror
gosh.
comedy.
So good.
It's not Night of
Yeah.
the Living Dead. It's not a straight up horror.
Yeah.
It's zombies. It's brains.
It is straight comedy,
But it's so funny and weird.
But
it's,
it also it's like the horror aspect is really well done.
yes,
Yes.
it really is a horror film too. But it's so
Wait,
weird.
do you remember
Yeah.
the ambulance when they flee the ambulance and then the zombies overtake them
Oh,
and then
yeah.
he grabs the like little walkie-talkie and the zombie's like send more brains or no send more cops or something like that because they're like eating the cops' brains.
I remember that.
That's hilarious.
That was funny. Anyways,
That's a great
that
film.
movie's ridiculous. It's an '80s movie. It's like coked up and on heavy metal. That movie.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
And punk rock. It's totally punk rock and strange. There's also Idle Hands.
Oh my God, that
Yeah.
was the first movie
Yeah.
I purchased on DVD. Was Idle
Really?
Hands. I watched that movie. I
Devin
was like
Sawa,
obsessed with Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
Seth Green. That movie's
That
so
movie
weird.
was
Yeah.
so funny to me.
So crazy. So dark.
Yeah. But
okay.
it is definitely a comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
Definitely comedy. Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, horror is in the title.
Have you guys seen this Scott's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse?
I
Yes.
did not
Yes.
see it.
Funny.
Funny.
That is a really, really
That
good
or
movie.
Cooties. Cooties was another one.
Cooties
I
was-
wanted to
Cooties.
see. That's another of
Is that the
these-
one with all the kids in the school?
Yeah, in the
or
school.
something?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I saw the trailer for that, but
I wanted to see that.
I haven't seen it.
So Idle Hands, and then Arachnophobia.
yeah.
Arachnophobia.
Oh, yeah.
Definite.
Remake coming up.
The Burbs.
Yeah,
The Burbs, yeah.
We're running
Definitely.
out of time, so I'm just going to name all these movies. The Burbs is absolutely. American Werewolf in London, John
Yeah.
Landis' early film. Love that one, but it's got a lot of comedy in it too. Monster Squad.
Have you guys seen What We Do in the Shadows?
No, I didn't see that.
Have you seen this?
No.
Oh, it's what one of the guys from Flight of the Conchords, which is an HBO show. Really funny movie. It's like a documentary about these vampires and like their house and where they live and like all the drama that gets stirred up by these
Oh,
vampires.
okay.
It's a comedy, but it's like filmed like it's a documentary.
Okay.
Okay.
Really,
It's a
really funny.
mockumentary.
Mockumentary, yeah. What We Do in the Shadows is worth checking out.
Young Frankenstein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toxic Avenger, kind of. Killer Tomatoes, Attack the Killer Tomatoes, Night of the Creeps. All the Abbot and Costello meet the Mummy, meet Frankenstein, meet
the
Dracula.
monsters.
All the Abbott and Costello stuff.
Yeah.
They did those movies because they had the real people from the real movies, the Bela Lugosi's,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Boris,
They had the
Boris
actors.
Karloffs, and they brought them and they played them and they played out like real horror movies from that jump, but it was Abbott and Costello dropped into them. They
Yeah.
were funny because I love those guys.
That's great.
Did you guys see Eight-Legged Freaks?
Yes.
No, I remember-
That was a great
That
film.
is
Good
a
call.
great
Never saw
movie.
it.
Yeah,
That's a great call.
Oh, dude, it was
Yeah.
2002. One of Scarlett Johansson's first movies,
Yeah.
like ever.
Really?
Like she's
Yeah.
like a teenager in that movie.
What's his name was in it? That he's,
Yeah, from
Courtney
Scream,
Cox husband.
God, what's his name? Arquette. David Arquette.
David Arquette.
Yeah, he's in it.
Dewey.
Dewey.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
Did you guys ever see Bubba
Oh,
Hotep?
and also Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy
Yes.
the Vampire Slayer.
which
yeah.
was David Arquette as well was in that, and Luke
Yeah.
Perry, Christy Swanson.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say Bubba Hotep.
No, I remember you telling me about this stuff.
Really funny movie. You ever seen this?
No, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's God, what the hell is his name? From Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. I love
Yeah,
him.
Bruce Campbell plays Elvis, who faked his death and is
Oh,
living in an
okay.
old folks' home. He's like
Yeah.
an old geezer.
I remember seeing something about this guy. I remember seeing a picture of him dressed up like Elvis.
Yeah, and
Okay,
so
Bubba Hotep.
yeah, he plays Elvis in an
Okay.
old folks' home, and this demon shows up. Like somehow a demon ends up showing up in the small town he's in from like Egypt, and then
Yeah.
the demon is like a soul sucker, and it sucks your soul like out of your asshole. And so all these old people start dropping dead in his old folks' home, and old ass like Elvis, who's played by Bruce Campbell, has to like fight this demon called Bubba Hotep that like is an ass sucking demon. And it just like kills these old people by sucking their soul out their asshole. Anyway, it's fucking hilarious. It's like kind of like indie, but it's it's
Yeah.
really funny.
Kinda
It kind of
like-
was
That
like
sounds
super
funny.
under the radar, but it is a funny ass movie.
I might have to check that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bubba Hotep.
I don't know if
Okay.
I'm pushed to watch it just because it's sucking souls out of an asshole.
I mean, that's what they
It
just
sounds-
say. Like
yeah.
it sounds funny. Like you're
Kill-
like, what?
Yeah, that sounds funny. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which we mentioned recently, and then Frighteners. Frighteners absolutely is a dark horror-esque film, but there's a lot of comedy in it too.
Yeah, it was very comedic. Yeah.
Yeah, Neil, Frighteners.
Oh yeah, Frighteners.
Yeah.
I love that. It was
Yeah.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, he wasn't paying attention. He was on his phone, so I was like, I know he likes Frighteners, so I wanted to make
Oh,
sure you
I
heard
love
me.
Frighteners.
Yeah.
I love it.
They
Like,
brought back what's the guy from oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Arlie Emery or
Oh,
something.
from
We just watched
Full Metal
that.
Jacket.
Full Metal
yeah.
Jacket,
Full
yeah.
Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael J. Fox is in it.
Yep.
He's fucking incredible.
Great.
Jake Busey.
Yep.
Jake Busey's in it.
Who's
Yeah.
who's the girl in that film?
I forgot.
Yeah, I forget what her name is, but she's very recognizable from that time period.
Yeah.
She's been in like a ton of movies.
Yeah.
But the thing that always stands out to me is I love the Frighteners so much. I like I got like all the special edition DVDs and stuff
Yeah.
when they came out, and there was behind the scenes
Yeah.
takes with Michael J. Fox, where he would be doing these takes, and he was supposed to say one thing, but then he started saying all this shit from like Back to the Future.
Doc.
He started calling one of the characters like Doc multiple times,
old
like
man?
in different takes. Yeah,
Yeah.
like he would be like Doc, and he sounded exactly like Marty McFly
Right.
from Back to the
That's
Future.
awesome.
And
That's
they're like,
hilarious.
and then he would like somebody would be like, what? And then he'd be like, they're like, what did you say? And he's like, and then everybody, the whole cast would just like start
Didn't
laughing.
Robert Zemeckis also wasn't he a producer on that film?
Yeah, he was a producer.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did Back to the
Zemeckis was
Future.
a producer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he did it on purpose. I got the impression because I at that time period he hadn't come out about his Parkinson's.
He
So I
had
think
Parkinson's
he was
for
on,
years at that point.
Yeah,
He
like,
got
but
it
it wasn't
around
like
Doc
public knowledge
Hollywood.
or something.
Yeah.
The hard way.
Yeah, and I think he was on a bunch of different medications to like
Okay.
keep it in
So
check,
you
and
think
that
it
may
was,
have like Yeah, threw him
okay.
off or something. I don't know. That's just my assumption. I have no idea. But he
Right.
did it like quite a bit. It's a whole montage of him saying "Doc" throughout the filming of the movie.
Wow.
Where he just goes,
Yeah.
"Doc."
Well, guys, this Halloween seasons don't just fill your head up with some horror films. Get some comedic horror films.
offset
up
it
in
with
there.
some comedy.
Offset it, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't just freaking pee in your pants. You know, pee in your pants for another reason.
I don't think I've ever urinated from fear.
I've never urinated, period.
Oh,
Well,
like
Yeah.
well.
Thank you
all
guys
right.
for joining us here at Get to the Podcast.
Revelations.
Let's get to the podcast with number 2. We are now going to take Nick to the bathroom.
to the hospital, actually. Probably.
Yeah, probably so.
This is
Yeah.
true.
I'm Diego D'Souza.
I need a hole for my pee. I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
I'm P Bambino.
Get this man some Pepto-Bismol.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.